My name is Madeline Boughton and I teach on the MSc in PR and Strategic Communications. I'm a lecturer and researcher. So I'm going to share my screen because that'll hopefully give you all the information that you need to sort of fill you in on this course. Now, and I'm going to hopefully, excellent, I'm hoping that everybody can see that. So yes, the MSc in PR and Strategic Communications. This is a year-long course that we offer in DCU, which, as Tom said, is probably the premier place to study communications, but also, I suppose, DCU has a strong track record in this particular area, which is public relations and strategic communications. So what makes this course special? I suppose one of the key things is that the focus from the point of view of the teaching is on strategic communications. So this module or this course is not about sort of how to do PR, it's more about the why. We try and look at what is it that informs people when they're thinking about public relations and campaigns. So it's very much giving students an opportunity to understand the why people are, take communications, why people embark upon public relations, why campaigns happen, as opposed to the nuts and bolts of it. The MSc PR is distinctive because, like with a lot of what my colleagues have said, the course is taught by lecturers and industry professionals. So it's a small class group, usually of about 23 or 24 students, usually mixed in terms of some students who come straight from an undergraduate degree, but mixed with professionals who are already working in the field of communications, but perhaps who want to upskill their learning a little bit more. So the course is taught, as I said, by people who are still actively working in the profession of public relations, which is a brilliant opportunity for students because you're getting the benefit of both the sort of academic, theoretical side, but also people who are still practically involved in the day-to-day practice of public relations and communications. So my own background, for example, I come from about 25 years of working in arts and creative industry communications. So that would be the area of specialty that I would bring to the course. But other lecturers come from, they are either industry freelance professionals or they are working in-house within organizations. So students get that brilliant opportunity to understand the day-to-day reality of what it is working in a public relations or strategic communications role. Another distinctive, I suppose, component of this MSc PR is that every student gets a professional mentor from industry who is assigned to them from the beginning of your course right the way through to the end. And all of the mentors are chosen because of, I suppose, their expertise, their professional expertise in the profession. The mentors are drawn from people who are working in-house within communications roles, as well as agencies and directors of communications. So that sort of attention that every student gets outside of the sort of course itself is really invaluable. It's somebody to sort of bounce ideas off. It's somebody who can share their knowledge with students right the way through the course. And many of the students become sort of firm friends as well as professional and develop professional relationships with their mentors as well. So that's a really, I suppose, important part of what the MSc PR offers to students in terms of their learning. Like some of the other courses offered by DCU, students will also undertake a work placement at the end of the course. So the program runs usually from starting in September with the first module to Christmas. You then are the first series of modules until Christmas. Then the second term runs from January through to usually the beginning of April. And then a 3-month placement usually begins at the beginning of July. And again, how this is managed is we have a host of sort of organizations and agencies who basically pitch for students to come and stay and work with them for 3 months during the summer. I mean, the placements are in a range of organisations. Some are in-house in organisations like Lidl, for example, or it could be with a sort of department, or it could be through media agencies. But at the moment, we're sort of oversubscribed in terms of host placements for our students. But the one thing that we do really think is very important is that when students undertake a placement in a real work environment, that they are working with a communications professional who is guiding them through their sort of experience. We also undertake a sort of careers bootcamp for students who are interested in terms of what either changing their career or sort of building a career in professional public relations. And again, we work with people in industry and HR professionals to sort of advise and guide students about how they can apply their learning in a real world context. And then again, like other modules in DCU, students undertake what we call a capstone dissertation at the end of the course, usually on a topic that is very sort of relevant in terms of the world of PR. We've had topics that are looking at, I suppose, the influence of AI on public relations. We've had studies of sponsorship and the relationship between sponsors and public relations. We've had sort of all sorts of dissertation topics on a very wide range of subjects. And I suppose that gives students an opportunity to really focus on something that they are interested in and to produce a coherent piece of work that they can then either use in terms of their own sort of current job environment or can use as a sort of an introduction to their new career. So just in terms of some practical details, what does the course involve? So it is a full-time programme. Class numbers are deliberately kept small because it's quite intense in terms of the work, but also there is a lot of engagement with industry. So that ability to be able to develop relationships and sort of conversations with people in industry is really important. So we value the fact that it's a full-time program, that students are immersed in it for the duration of the time. Having said that, we do also have students on the course who are working full-time and doing the course as well, particularly those who are in career professionals who are looking to develop an academic qualification. And in that case, our classes usually start at sort of 4:30 in the evening, which allows people to come from after work. And we do value the benefit of having a mixed class of people who are already working in the profession alongside students who are coming straight out of undergraduate degree or may have worked for a little while out in the profession and are looking for a sort of a change. The module is, the program is assessed through continuous assessment, so you will have regular opportunities and group work and group presentations, group assignments, as well as individual projects. So it's a continuous assessment model is what we use. And again, I wanted to give you an idea of some of the modules that that are covered during the course. So it's from things like strategic and integrated communications, which is taught by our colleague Pádraig McKeown, who is a former president of the Public Relations Institute of Ireland, very experienced public relations professional. So again, a wealth of knowledge, both practical and theoretical, that he brings to the course. Contemporary Communications Channels is taught by Craig Dwyer, who is the Director of Digital for the Fianna Fáil Party. And again, somebody who has an extensive background in campaigns and advocacy and the use of social media as a tool of public relations. Communication Management, which I teach, which is again the nuts and bolts of the day-to-day practicalities of managing communications, either within an in-house situation or externally in an agency. Managing the Message, which again is all about understanding how we use public relations in terms of visuals, tone of voice, campaign strategy, crisis communications. And that's taught by the programme chair, Martin Maloney. And also Ethics in Public Relations, which is taught by a colleague, Neil Ward, again, which looks at, I suppose, the challenges for public relations in terms of maintaining the sort of principles and ethics of practice. So again, these are a sort of a range of some of the modules that you will be covering over the duration of the course. And I suppose one thing that is really important with this particular program, as it is with others, is the integration with industry. I mean, this balance between theory and practice is really important. And industry engagement is embedded across all aspects of the program from the very beginning. So all of our students are automatically accredited as student members of the Public Relations Institute of Ireland as part of this course, which is also accredited by the PRII. And that means that you have access to a whole range of webinars and discussions and up-to-date research on public relations as part of your sort of studying on this course. The course itself is accredited by the PRII, and students attend, as part of one of your assignments, will attend the annual conference that the PRII sort of organise every year, which again is a brilliant opportunity to network with other members of the profession from a whole range of backgrounds and sectors. And as I mentioned, we have industry guest lectures throughout the course, from right across sort of everything from sort of fast-moving consumer goods to agencies to public affairs, government departments, the creative industries. So again, it's a very broad range of lectures that we would have coming into the course. And similarly to what Tom mentioned, my colleague earlier, with the MA in documentary practice, students also get an opportunity to work on real case studies that PR clients present to students in terms of, how they would approach a particular campaign strategy, and they get an opportunity to pitch to clients as they would in a real life situation. And in terms of, I suppose, career opportunities, a lot of students of the Public Relations and Strategic Communications Masters, again, the graduates who are working all over the world. We have graduates who are working from San Francisco to Milan to London. So graduates have found roles in all sorts of organisations across the world. You'd also find students working particularly within the agency field. There's a huge demand for communication specialists now across agencies, but also in-house within government departments and within local authorities and state agencies. And some of our graduates are working in specialist areas. So whether it is one of our recent graduates is working with Irish rugby, we've graduates working in the arts and creative industries. And our graduates regularly, in fact, very recently, one of our graduates from last year was sort of picked out as one of the top 30 under 30 public relations professionals to sort of keep an eye out into the future. So we have, I suppose, a wealth of alumni expertise that we draw on for our mentors, as well as, I suppose, using those networks to sort of build connections for students across the sector. So I think that's as much information as I can share with you today in this very short period of time. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Or please feel free to drop Martin Maloney, who's the programme chair, an email, and he'd be very happy to come back to you with any sort of response.